Reagan. It's no fun. It's an imposition on everybody when these security concerns supersede normalcy.
Right.
I'm sorry this has affected you.
Well, can I come work with you this summer instead?
You want to do an internship here, huh?
I would love it. I want to go to school up in Syracuse, New York, and I'd love to go work.
What do you want to do in sports journalism on radio or TV? What do you do, play-by-play?
I was wanting to be like a sports anchor on Sports Center or something would be my absolute dream. I would love to do that.
Really?
I'm also going to Washington for a political journalism conference.
I'm curious, is it because you have a love of sports?
Oh, yes. I love sports. Basketball, baseball, I love them all.
Mm-hmm.
And I also like politics, too.
And you want to be on TV. You want to have FaceTime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yes, I do.
that's, those ambitions are held by a lot. And I'll tell you one thing. There are many people you'd call who would discourage you. Oh, come on, Natalie, don't get involved in that, but not me. I mean, if that's really what you want to do, I'd encourage you to try as hard as you can. Realize if you have too much hell, never mind. Just you stay focused on what you want to do and don't let the naysayers talk you. There are going to be a lot of people who make fun of you for wanting to be on TV and just a teleprompter reader. And why do you want to do that? And they'll accuse you of having a big ego, not caring what you do, just so long as your face gets on TV because you want to be recognized. But if you really want to do it, then you just, pull a Jimmy Johnson and stay totally focused on it. I could help you any way I could if I knew how. Thanks for the call, and we'll be right back. I'm over time, Natalie, otherwise I'd hang around. We got to go. Don't go away.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Okay, folks, April issue of the Limbaugh Letter coming soon. And in it, I talked to somebody who has actually read the entire Clinton health care plan, page by page, something most of the people in the White House probably haven't done, but they should. And in my publication, you'll read that the president's health plan will indeed mean hidden taxes. It'll impose price controls. It will invade your privacy. You could face long waits for treatment. This plan could impede the development of research for new cures. Also in the April issue, the outrageous pork your tax dollars are buying. A Limbaugh Letter is this radio show in print plus more. And that's why hundreds of thousands of readers subscribe to my relentless pursuit of truth delivered each month to their door. You can too. Number to call is 800-457-4141 for the Limbaugh Letter. If you order now, you'll get free my new 35 Undeniable Truths of Life, revised for the 90s. 1 year, 12 issues, $29.95. Call 800-457-4141. Satisfaction is guaranteed.
Well, little lady, that's the beauty of an automobile you're looking at.
Thanks, but I'm just looking...
Now, darling, I can make you a great deal. Why don't you just hop in and see how you like it?
No, thanks.
But it's perfect for you. It's loaded, tires, brakes, seats, all the extras. Let's take it out for a test drive so you can fall in love with it. And you know we got a great sale going on today only.
Really?
Of course, you probably already heard about it, Fuzzy Dice giveaway. Everybody's been talking about it. You won't find a deal like that just anywhere.
I don't want your sale or your dice. I just want to look. Will you just stop hassling me?
Baby, hassle's my middle name. If you want that no-hassle stuff, you'll have to go over to Courtesy Buick.
Where?
Courtesy Buick on Highway 75 pass over to Goldsboro. They have no hassle buying in all kinds of Buicks and GMCs.
Thanks. I'm out of here.
Courtesy Buick GMC really does have what you're looking for. No hassle buying. No hassles, no haggling. Just the best bottom line price, marked up front on every Buick, GMC, and Honda on the lot. It's a better, easier way of buying a car, one that you'll love, only at Courtesy Buick GMC in Goldsboro.
Still don't understand why the Fuzzy Dice didn't get her.
HB Systems at 2902 Central Heights Road in the Brent King Building is Goldsboro's coast-to-coast computer operation with complete business systems, hardware, and software. They offer installations all across the USA. HB Systems offers custom software design and programming, training and support, as well as networking or standalone operations. These systems are custom designed for your business, whether you operate a one-person business or a large business. They know computers. HB Systems, 2902 Central Heights Road, Goldsboro. Call 778-9795. Who's on your side when you buy a home? The realtor? The mortgage lender? Don't you need someone in your corner? Global Inspection Corporation can be your best friend. They can use their 21 years building experience to inspect your prospective home and let you know what's good and what's a potential problem. An inspected home can ease worries about financing and insurance problems. Best of all, you know your home will live up to your expectations. To help you through the home buying jungle, call 689-2304 for Global Inspection Corporation.
Make sure we get this complaint back to this driver of the delivery service who wanted me to, he faxed us, I signed, make sure we get that back. I think we have time for one more call. Dallas, Texas, this is Jim. Welcome to the program, sir.
Hello.
Hey.
Yes, I got one quick statement and then a couple of questions. I'd like to hear your answers on them.
Okay, well, we got 45 seconds here. Go as quickly as you can. We'll get as much done as we can. Yeah.
Now, back in the 30s, we voted in Social Security.
That's right.
Right now, Social Security doesn't look anything like it did when they voted for it. It's been added onto and taxed onto.
Got it
if
right.
they pass any kind of health care act, don't you really think, or do you think, that they'll then chip away, add to it, keep on adding, and it'll be a disaster in time?
Very soon it'll be a disaster because it'll be very obvious at first it won't work.
Okay. Second thing is, when the liberals are in power, as they seem to be right now, they enact things. How come we never see the other half of that happen? When the conservatives get in power, they vote the things out.
I'm stumped by the question. I don't know if you mean that they do vote them out or why don't they vote them out.
Dukes in the Final Four. The Duke Blue Devils are on the way to Charlotte to face Florida in the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship semifinal game. Hear all of the action live this Saturday at 8 p.m. on 1150 WGBR. Duke Basketball is brought to you by Fredericks Music, Wayne Realty and Insurance, Moffett Oil Company, Lawrence Travel Agency, Deacon Jones Lincoln Mercury, Crawford Henderson Insurance, Western Steer Family Steakhouse, and Women of the World Insurance. Duke in Florida Saturday at 8 p.m. on 1150 WGBR.
Hey, what's this?
A U.S. savings bond.
Jack, I told you to get me a bail bond.
I know, but a savings bond is a much better investment.
Jack, I want to get out of jail.
Okay, but look, you're guilty.
I'm not.
They'll only put you back in again.
I'm innocent.
And besides, the rate on this bond is so...
Protect himself and his family from an intruder.
There's a lot of misunderstanding about what the law is in North Carolina, and I believe that we should pass a law to make it clear. That bill will come up in the short session that begins in May. I intend to work hard for it, and I'm hopeful that it will pass.
Representative Phil Baddour Jr. We'll have more news in a moment.
Lanza Daniels says Gibson appliances are known for quality and one of the best warranties in the industry. Gibson ranges, washers, dryers, freezers, and refrigerators. Check the price before you buy, and check the new selection of gold jewelry at Daniels Furniture and Appliances, 112 North John Street, downtown Goldsboro.
WGBR News Time coming up on 12:04. An autopsy's been ordered in the death of 40-year-old Larry Wayne Balance of Benton Bond Road, Fremont. Wayne Sheriff's officers say a brother, Johnny Balance, and a cousin, Charles Faircloth, found the deceased unresponsive on a couch. An officer also reported that Larry Wayne Balance had been released from the hospital March 31st for an unknown health problem. Also, an autopsy has been ordered in the death of 47-year-old Sally Elizabeth Malden of Rayanne Drive, Goldsboro. The cause of death is pending a medical examiner's report. A sheriff's officer reported Ms. Malden was found unresponsive Saturday night by James Waterhouse, her boyfriend. The Goldsboro City Council will hear a recommendation from the City Planning Commission tonight that the council deny an office and institutional special use district for development of a new Wayne Christian School on New Hope Road between Patetown Road and Wayne Memorial Drive. The commission said the change would not be appropriate and could result in increased traffic and safety hazards. The Planning Commission also will recommend that the City Council deny special use permit to allow the operation of teen clubs in the former Winn-Dixie store on Wayne Memorial Drive and at 117 East Mulberry Street. I'm Wayne Alley.
Griffin Oil Company has a long tradition of service with Phillips 66 petroleum products, and Griffin Oil doesn't stop there. Griffin also gives you fast, efficient delivery with radio dispatch trucks. Griffin Oil Company, supplier of Phillips 66 gasolines, diesel fuel, home heating oil, motor oils, and lubricants. The finest products for the home, farm, and industry are just a phone call away. Call Griffin Oil Company at 735-4911. Griffin Oil Company, distributors of Phillips 66 in Goldsboro and Wayne County.
You're searching for the best deal on the program car? Stop the search and head to Leith of Goldsboro today. Leith Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep Eagle, and Leith Dodge Isuzu has a lot of great deals for you. Leith has reduced the prices and increased the selection of program cars. The Spirits and the Claims are on sale at Leith of Goldsboro, along with the ultimate family vehicle, the Dodge Grand Caravan program, for as little as $249 per month. Leith Chrysler, Plymouth, Jeep Eagle, and Leith Dodge Isuzu, Highway 70 West Goldsboro, tax tag and $138 dock fee or extra. Payments based on 20% down, cash or trade for 60 months at 7.95 APR.
The frontal system that brought a little rain last night is long gone now, and we'll enjoy a very pleasant day and a half before more showers develop on Wednesday. Our forecast for this afternoon, mostly sunny and mild with light winds, the high about 68 to 73. Then fair and cool overnight. Look for lows 43 to 48 degrees. And for Tuesday, it'll be turning partly cloudy and turning breezy during the afternoon as well. Highs tomorrow quite warm at 75 to 80. At the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Moss. WGBR.
This is a special edition of the Rush Limbaugh program, America Held Hostage, with today's special guest, Mary Madalan. There are 440 days left in the raw deal for the poor and the middle class, 459 for the rich and the dead, 1,026 days left of the Clinton administration, and 12 days until your taxes are due. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is Mary Madalan.
I am Mary Madalan, which is to say I am not Rush Limbaugh. I am but a humble ditto head and Limbaugh devotee, keeping the home fires burning while the master rejuvenates. As we've just heard, while he's rejuvenating, America is still in bondage. So, to comfort all you ditto heads and assure you that nothing is going to go awry while Rush is rejuvenating, we have established in his brief absence the Rush Limbaugh Red Alert line, which we will activate in the event of a big happening in our nation's capital, or for that matter, across the fruited plain. If you detect a big happening, the RLRA, as we're calling it, we're actually broadcasting from our nation's capital, so we're only allowed to use acronyms here. And I'll tell you again, the RLRA is the Rush Limbaugh Red Alert line will be instantly activated, and the man, the legend, and the way of life will make the complex understandable. So fear not, ditto heads. But you should continue to be in fear, you White House boneheads, because the RLRA is going to keep you on alert. Don't think because Rush isn't here you can pull any fast ones. Of course, the president, as you all know by now, should be trying to pull a fast one. He's going to throw out the first pitch in Cleveland today. Let's hope for all America he makes it over the plate. Let's see, before we begin, I think ditto heads all across the country are having an Admiral Stockdale syndrome. You remember Admiral Stockdale? He was the running mate of H. Ross Perot, that paragon of participatory democracy. He asked in his opening statement in the 1992 vice presidential debates, "Who am I and why am I here?" I can hear you asking across the country, who is she and why is she here? Who am I? As Rush said last week, I'm a devoted ditto head, so I listen every week. Every day, and I heard him mention to you that I was a deputy campaign manager for George Bush in 1992. That's a very fancy title for what amounted to very little work. A guy named Dave Studmuffin Carney, who's going to be with us later on this week, actually did all the work, and I just ran my motor mouth, as my husband likes to affectionately say. Continuing with this really impressive bio, let's see, before that I worked on the 1988 campaign. I love George Bush. I love his family. That's not politically correct to say anymore, but I'm very proud of him and his family. As you may know, for you Texans and Floridians, his two sons are running for governors against Ma Richards and Joaquin Lawton in those two states. I also had a wonderful time in my political life serving as the chief of staff to the late, great Republican National Committee Chairman Lee Atwater. Lee, of course, is universally credited with winning the 1988 campaign. He died in 1991, tragically, at the age of 40 of brain cancer. We all missed Lee in 1992. We missed him in 1990 budget deal. Many of us believe, and some of you out there believe, because I've heard from you, and we agree that if he wasn't stricken at the time, he might have thwarted the economic eunuchs who advised the president to revoke his no new taxes pledge. But I'm comforted to know that Lee is smiling down at us somewhere today, I'm sure, as he thinks of a campaign maxim that he taught all of us, which was never interfere with your enemy when he's in the process of destroying himself. Let's see, having dumped that bio on you, so we can have familial conversations this week, That's not really who I am. Contrary to feminist doctrine, I don't really define myself by my career or my work. Who I really am is a granddaughter of Croatian immigrants who met on the boat coming over from Yugoslavia. They're seeking a better life in this country. They spoke no English. They had a loaf of bread and 50 cents between the two of them when they arrived in this country. They settled down in an ethnic community in South Chicago, and they made a great life for themselves. They were supported by their church and their community and their family. They didn't understand or never partook of government largesse and taught their children, which would be my father, individual responsibility and resourcefulness. I am the daughter of Steve Madalan, who was a steel worker until the big steel mills contracted in the early 80s, and he was forced to take an early retirement. I never heard him whine about this economic restructuring, nor did I hear my brother, my uncles, my godfather, my friends, my entire neighborhood, who all had to find other work. Sometimes life is tough. Sometimes you got to try harder and make adjustments. This is about the time that I became convinced that the government cannot give you the character it takes to get through life's rocky roads. My mother, whom my father loved since they met in kindergarten, was a beautician. She was a terrible beautician. She regularly turned her own hair orange. She regularly turned my sister and my hair into afros before it was cool to have afros. So she went into teaching, and though she had a good career in beauty school, her first concern was my father's well-being, and her second was her kids. She died tragically too young, also in 1980. We are blessed today that my father was lucky enough to find another true love and remarry a woman who raised 4 boys by herself, often working 2 jobs to do so, and I also never heard her whine. I have a beautiful sister, and I have a beautiful brother, and finally I'm the wife of a golden-hearted, generous, sweet man who is not perhaps, he is unequivocally politically misdirected, but I am working on that. He comes from a big, loving family of Cajuns who were, in fact, the first folks who told me about Rush Limbaugh. So, you know, we didn't really talk about this after the last election, if they voted for Clinton or Bush, but I do know for a fact that, but for his beautiful mother, Miss Nippy, most of the kids voted for Reagan and Bush. So what am I saying here? I'm talking about family. When I was growing up, feminists cautioned us against defining ourselves as daughters and sisters and wives. Actually, it was okay to be a sister, but you couldn't be your father's daughter or your husband's wife. It was too derivative, and it was too demeaning to our individuality. Can you think of a more miserable individual than one without a family? So that's who I am, and enough of this. We thought it would be helpful if you could sort of get a sense of who I am. I have a sense of who you are. Ditto heads are united everywhere, because we want to have lots of good conversations this week. We're going to have fun this week. We're all going to miss Rush, but we are going to keep up the vigilance in his very brief absence. I will be here for 3 days, and the end of the week, Professor Williams from George Mason will be here with some great guests, too. So we'll just keep up the regular program. We'll do current events, and of course we'll have our Rush Limbaugh Red Alert, RLRA, on all the time. Today we're going to have former Bush speechwriter and conservative columnist Tony Snow come by. We have Governor Whitman from New Jersey, who beat the country's biggest New Deal Democrat on a campaign of slashing taxes. Tomorrow we'll have Tim Russert of Meet the Press. I think he's a closet ditto head. He had Secretary of Defense Perry on this weekend, so if you have foreign policy questions about the new levels of defiance in North Korea and Bosnia, hold those for Tim. And also, while we're thinking about this, let's hold our stock questions for tomorrow. As we went to air, the stock market was down yet another 70 points. All analysts over the weekend were anticipating increased sellout, but let's see what happens by the end of the day, and we'll talk about that tomorrow. But Tuesday and Wednesday, I think we're going to have Harry Thomason call in, who produced, as Rush has been talking about, the Hearts of Fire episode, which will air on April 11th at 9:30. Okay, he's going to be Harry is in Jakarta. Now, how cool is this? He said we'll pick him up at 2:30 in the morning because he wants to tell us how much fun it was to work with Rush. And we'll have other little fun things. As I mentioned, Carney will be here, and who was my deputy on the campaign, is now the political director for the Republican Senate Committee, and he will talk to us about, and we might get somebody from the Congressional Committee to also talk about the opportunities for some conservative gains this fall. I don't need to remind you that we have won, conservatives have won every single major race since the Democrats have been in office, showing the country the alternative to conservative government. And maybe, if we run out of time and really get bored, we can call my big spending, big taxing, redistributionist, demagogic Democrat of a husband, if he's behaving himself. That is a big if. He's off doing the nation's work today, going to all the games, baseball games and basketball games with his president. Mostly, though, we want a ton of calls. I need to get beyond the Beltway. It's beautiful here. It's spring. The cherry blossoms are out. But please, please, please call so we can chat. Even though we're in Washington, we have the same number, 1-800-282-2882. So do call in. I guess, did I mention what I'm doing now? I'm doing a little TV show. I'm part of the CNBC family. We do a little show tonight called Equal Time. And for any of you loopy cultists out there, Jane Wallace quit last week. So I guess in the meantime, we are called Unequal Time. I don't know. I'll figure that out when we get done with this. And I do the Today Show political commentating every other week on NBC. And I'm writing a book with my demagogic husband. I haven't seen his part of it. It's a joint venture, but we've written it separately. I'll enjoy reading his part, I suppose. That's coming out in the fall. So that is me, that is you, that is the show. I'm already missing Rush. I got all tingly when I heard the music coming up. You know, how much do we have left in this segment? All right, they're telling us that we can go to break, and you'll excuse my technical imperfections as we get used to the environment here. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back and start taking your calls. Thanks for tuning in.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Hey, time for some new information from our good buddies at CompuServe, folks. Guess what they've done? They have lowered their rates by up to 40% for members under their standard pricing plan. 40% price reduction. As a result of advanced technology and strong membership growth, which is no doubt due to this show, and you know, too, that CompuServe subscribers epitomize good taste as well. CompuServe is able now, because of the high volume, able to pass these savings on to members. Now, for only $8.95 a month, you can access over 50 basic services. Plus, you now can access thousands of other services at these new lower rates. They've expanded the CompuServe universe, accessible at the new lower rate. These services include interactive forums, travel services, financial services, reference databases, and entertainment. All those used to not be accessible at the low rate. They are now. Call 1-800-787-RUSH and order CompuServe today. 1-800-787-7874.
Imagine having a virtual photographic memory and being able to meet over 100 people and remember all their names, or have instant recall of virtually everything you see, hear, read, or even think about. This is Kevin Trudeau, founder of the American Memory Institute. As seen on TV, over 2 million people have already benefited from the easy-to-learn Mega Memory Home Study course and released their own instant recall photographic memories. Now, it's your turn. Call 1-800-862-MEGA. That's 1-800-862-MEGA.
Monk's Furniture Warehouse in LaGrange has set the standard for saving, selection, and satisfaction. The Warehouse Way for over 10 years. From all over eastern North Carolina, customers save every day at Monk's Furniture Warehouse.
You come in, and I think you're going to be pleased with the down-home atmosphere that we have there. We've been here 10 years because of the customers that we have. We really appreciate that, and that's what made us successful.
Even after the sale, satisfaction is still the goal, with service from the store that saves you more the Warehouse Way every day. Monk's Furniture Warehouse.
We give good service on our product. If one of our customers has a problem, we want to know about it. When we find out about it, we're going to get them satisfied and get that product taken care of for them.
Monk's Furniture Warehouse in LaGrange. They thank you for your continued patronage for the next 10 years.
And I really want to extend a great appreciation to them for what they've done for us for the past 10 years.
Monk's Furniture Warehouse, Highway 70 between Goldsboro and Kinston at Little Baltimore.
If you're searching for the best deal on a program car, stop the search and head to Leith of Goldsboro today. Leith Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle and Leith Dodge Isuzu has a lot of great deals for you. Leith has reduced the prices and increased the selection of program cars. Check out a 93 Dodge Dynasty, only $11,895 or as low as $189 per month. Leith Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle and Leith Dodge Isuzu, Highway 70 West Goldsboro. Tax tag and $138 dock fee or extra. Payments based on 20% down, cash or trade for 60 months at 7.95 APR.
Duke battles Arkansas for the national championship. It's the showdown in Charlotte, the NCAA men's basketball championship game. Hear it on 1150 WGBR tonight at 8:30. Brought to you by Fredericks Music, Wayne Realty and Insurance, Moffett Oil Company, Lawrence Travel Agency, Deacon Jones Lincoln Mercury, Crawford Henderson Insurance, Western Steer Family Steakhouse, and Woman of the World Insurance. Duke and Arkansas battle for the title tonight at 8:30 on 1150 WGBR.
WGBR.
I am not Rush Limbaugh. I wish I were. I am Mary Madalan, sitting in for the vacationing Rush Limbaugh. We will have our RA activated at any given moment. I'm so excited you're actually calling. At least 3 people are listening. Let's go to Susan from Birmingham, Alabama.
Good morning, Mary.
Good morning. You know, that's the home of Margaret Tutwiler.
I know. I went to school with her sister Ann.
Oh, my gosh.
I don't know Margaret, but I do know from a long time ago. Southern Hospitality dittos.
Well, thank you so much. I feel like a sort of a adopted Southerner, but...
Well, you're married to one, aren't you?
Yeah, but how come I can understand you? I still can't understand what he's saying.
Well, I've lived all over, and my husband accuses me of taking on the accent of wherever I live. Listen, I wanted to talk to you about what I perceived as the Republican Party ineptness at getting across its philosophy. That being well, I'm not quite as libertarian as what libertarians would call, but really, truly limited government. And I see the Republican Party just kind of answering what Democrats are doing in that, well, we're going to do this and we're going to do that. No one comes out and says, why does the federal government have to do anything about this issue?
Oh, this is my favorite question, Susan. It's my favorite question. It's a little bit worse than that. We're going to talk more today and in the next couple of days about the Me Too party. It's just a little bit, it's the Democrats a little bit less. But what I'm concerned about and the focus of the Republican Party right now, we saw this some in '92 and we're seeing it again, and it's a very flawed strategy, and it is this. There's this notion that a flawed opponent is an agenda. That is not the case. There are too many Republicans then and now that think that Clinton is such damaged goods that he's going to flare out by '96 and we don't have to have an agenda. That's not a good political strategy, or it's not a good governing strategy. And the evidence of, as Rush likes to say, that we're winning or that our principles and our agenda and our convictions are the right ones is manifest in the Democrats' as what does Rush call this, grand larceny with our issues. They're not our issues, they're America's issues. And if we can get the president to work on crime and welfare as opposed to just talking about it, then we'll continue to win.
But don't you feel like the American people are sort of being lulled into, I hate to say that, the state of socialism, but every time a problem comes up, the first response is, what is the federal government going to do about this?
Yes, that's, you might remember during the campaign a columnist named Chris Matthews who wrote about the mommy party and the daddy party. And the Democrats are the mommy party because they want to take care of us.
I don't need the federal government to take care of me. I have me and myself to do that.
You know, James Golden, who's sitting here holding my hand through all of this, gave me a fax this morning. It was about health care. And here's how people are feeling about themselves. This is a quote. If I'm not healthy and I don't feel good about myself, I can't take care of the rest of my family. If my needs are not met, I have no incentive to vote for the politicians again. I don't know when we switched from being take care of yourself to have them take care of us. But having lived here for 12 years and watching this sausage be made, I can tell you this is not a structure that is equipped to take care of people and is ultimately disintegrating. And Susan, you sound like a good Southerner, a good Birminghamian, however you say that. I will say hello to Margaret next time I I see her. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, let's try to get one more before we have to go to break. Josh, are you on?
Hello, Miss Madalan. Mega dittos.
Mega dittos to you. Portland,
Yes, ma'am.
is that, dare I say, Tanya's home?
Oh, Tanya Harding? As a matter of fact, she got jumped at a park I used to go picnic in when I was a kid in Beaverton.
Is
No,
this
seriously.
true? Oh, and she just got hit or something.
Yeah, somebody beat her up, but who cares? I got the hot ticket for the Republican Party in 1996.
Josh, I don't think that's a very passionate attitude. Who cares? Don't you feel bad that Tanya got jumped?
She deserved it.
Oh, I guess these Oregonians are not as loyal to their Tanyas as they used to be. Okay, what's your hot tip?
Jesse Helms and Strom Thurmond.
Well, they're Southern. That's a little hot. Is this like your 96 Dream ticket, Josh?
Yeah. Although also Buchanan Limbaugh would be pretty good too.
That has a possibilities. That has possibilities. You know, I predicted first, and if Rush were honest, he would say this. He is honest, but I don't think he likes to talk about it. I predicted a draft Rush movement for 1996.
Wouldn't that be fun?
I believe it's materialized, but he doesn't want to run. He doesn't want to run.
I called about the 92 election, and I voted for Pro, and I'm a registered Republican and I'm a Packwood Republican, but I voted for Pro because I didn't feel George Bush didn't handle the Los Angeles riots well. He could have used that into his campaign strategy very well. I think if he would have used that and said, this is what'll happen if you have liberals in, like Tom Bradley out in Los Angeles or something. I mean, like, if you look at Los Angeles, they put in a Republican mayor. Pete Wilson's doing good in California right now. If he would have came out and used that as a campaign ploy, you know, to say we need law and order and stuff, instead of you know, retrying the police officers and, you know, and bowing into like a lynch mob mentality, you know.
Yes, I do know. That's the first time I've heard in the years since the campaign that someone voted against him because of that one incident.
Well, not just that, but immigration too. I mean, he never even addressed illegal immigration, you know.
Yeah, well, you know, politics has cycles, and politics has focus, and immigration wasn't the issue during the 1992 campaign that it is today. It was economics. It was the economy, stupid. Those words will ring in my ears forever. And there are some who would claim that immigration is is truly a state issue, and where it's gotten screwed up is because the feds,
federal government, yeah.
The feds have these unfunded mandates on the states. So, yeah, I suspect we could have gotten around to it.
You know, because, I mean, how can Washington, D.C. address the problem of Florida or California and even Oregon, you know? I mean, we need Border Patrol in Oregon, you know? And it's silly because the government seems so far removed from the problems of the states. You know, it seems like there's an island. You know, Capitol Hill, it seems like a world away to us.
Well, Josh, aren't you glad we have a president, though, that cares about us and can tap into all of our problems all across the fruited plain?
No.
Josh, thank you. Thank you for saying no. Thank you for calling in. Your question here said, what can we have done differently in the campaign? When we come back from our break, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit more. Thank you all for calling in. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll be back after these few short breaks.
The vocabulary of the average person stops growing by age 25. Your vocabulary is limited. Your potential for success is too. Hi, this is Rush Limbaugh. Verbal Advantage, Achievement Dynamics' powerful audio cassette program, gives you the words you need to succeed. Just by listening, you'll learn word meanings, pronunciation, and usage, plus essential power words to give you confidence in any situation. To learn more, call now, 1-800-28-TAPES. That's 800-28-TAPES.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
This is Wayne Alley. At last report, shortly before midnight, Sergeant J.D. Booth of the State Highway Patrol in Goldsboro said the county had recorded about 15 accidents and one serious injury, but had issued scores of citations for motor vehicle violations over the Easter holiday weekend.
We arrested approximately 25 people for driving while impaired and somewhere around 100 to 110 speeding violations, and we had around 20 or 25 seatbelt violations, along with 5 to 6 child restraints.
State Highway Patrol Line Sergeant J.D. Booth of Goldsboro. The Wayne County Board of Health has approved and sent to county commissioners a proposal that provides 2 different ways of assisting health department employees who must have additional training get that training. Health Director Tom Bloom describes it as a proposal by which some employees would be helped in obtaining college courses because the requirements of their particular jobs have increased. The proposal is to either pay the tuition cost of certain courses or to afford the employee time off from work for those courses.
There is no policy in this area for county employees. So I'm proposing it because we have employees in the health department in absolutely critical, vital positions which are confronted with new educational requirements for their position.
Wayne County Health Director Tom Bloom. An autopsy's been ordered in the death of 40-year-old Larry Wayne Balance of Benton Pond Road, Fremont. Wayne Sheriff's officers say a brother, Johnny Balance, and a cousin, Charles Faircloth, found the deceased unresponsive on a couch. An officer also reported that Larry Wayne Balance had been released from the hospital March 31st for an unknown health problem. The Goldsboro City Council will hear a recommendation from the City Planning Commission tonight that the council deny an office and institutional special use district for development of a new Wayne Christian School on New Hope Road between Paytown Road and Wayne Memorial Drive. The commission said the change would not be appropriate and could result in increased traffic and safety hazards. The town of Eureka will ask Wayne County Commissioners tomorrow to seek County Planning Board agreement for a moratorium on all subdivision and mobile home park requests for a 6-month period in Eureka to enable the town board to adopt an appropriate zoning ordinance. 27 minutes before the hour, stay tuned for the latest Weather Center forecast. For WGBR News, I'm Wayne Alley.
We'll finish out this Monday with bright skies and seasonable temperatures. After that, strengthening southerly winds should warm us to above normal levels tomorrow. The forecast for this afternoon, mostly sunny and mild. We'll look for light winds, highs ranging about 68 to 73 degrees. Then tonight, fair and cool, the low dropping off to 43 to 48. And for Tuesday, we'll be turning partly cloudy and breezy during the afternoon. Highs tomorrow quite warm at 75 to 80 degrees. I'm Mike Moss at the Weather Center.
WGBR.
And now, EIB proudly presents the First Lady of Talk Radio, sitting in for vacationing Rush Limbaugh, the star of Equal Time, and the wife of Mary Madalan.
Oh, I hadn't heard that one yet. My husband's been reduced to an expletive deletive. I want to tell you, Louisianans who are tuned in, I did not know that was coming. I am Mary Madalan. He is not an expletive deletive. He's a wonderful human being. He's misdirected. It's a beautiful time, friends. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend or celebrated in whatever way you do this time of year. It's a time of new beginnings. It's a new season, and spring has finally sprung. We have more daylight to enjoy the bounties of spring. If you remember to spring your clock forward, which I didn't yesterday and almost missed, Tim Russert, who is the best talking head. It's opening day, baseball season. It's a great time to be alive, friends. It's time for the nation to shake off those winter blahs all across the fruited plain. We're waking up. Folks are waking up in eager anticipation of new beginning. Spring, hopefulness are in the air everywhere. Everywhere except, it appears, in our nation's capital, in the people's house. That would be your house, temporarily occupied by that president from Arkansas, where confusion, uncertainty, chaos, and I must say cuckoo-ness continues. Let's turn, as we're going to do this week, to headlines and current events. This is from yesterday's Washington Post. It gives us a look inside the people's house and the pervasive and unending morass there. This is what Rush tells you is an above-the-fold banner headline, top story in yesterday's Washington Post. The headline is, Loops of Power Snarl in Clinton White House. Mistakes and confusion seem to be a way of life. This is a very long story, folks, one the Washington Post usually doesn't spend a lot of time on, but it goes to a jump page. It's a whole 3/4 of a page. I'm just going to read you very briefly some of the finer passages. It begins with White House Chief of Staff Thomas F. Mack McClarty was defending the Clinton White House once again last week, saying that its sometimes uneven performance is, quote, not unusual in the first year. But this is year 2, and there is little to suggest that the wild ride the nation took with Bill and Hillary Rodham Clinton in 1993 was a function of first year setting in. It appears to be a way of life. Despite endless efforts to tighten the reins and even out the ride, the Clinton White House continues in its breathtaking lurches. New people, learning new jobs, 3 sets of hands, the presidents, the first ladies, and the vice president. Lines of authority resemble a plate of spaghetti. Everyone seems to be in charge of everyone, so no one is held accountable. All evidence suggests that until its final days, this administration will be a public roller coaster ride, a modern-day Perils of Pauline. So maybe you're out there across a fruited plain asking, maybe you're sitting in a rush room, maybe you're just hanging out, maybe you're enjoying spring, and you're saying, what is she talking about? What difference does it make to me how the White House is run? Who cares about the perils of Pauline? Does it matter to my life that the White House staff turnover is huge? Does it matter to my life that there's no accountability on any decisions, right or wrong, that 1/3 of the White House staff failed to obtain their security clearance, some of whom have routine access to classified material? Does it matter to me at all that the ethics in the White House is such that they allow for the deputy counsel in charge of ethical clearances, the Arkansas buddy, who had his own nanny tax problems? The ethics in the White House are such that the top White House officials were meeting with officials of the Resolution Trust Corporation. That would be the independent agency investigating the failure of Arkansas's now famous Madison Guarantee Savings and Loan, the collapse of which cost you, taxpayer, ditto head, $47 to $60 million, depending on which paper you look at. This would be only 1 month's roller coaster ride. Well, the Post and some of us anticipated your question because we answer it this way. This is from the Post. No one disputes, and she's talking here, this reporter Ann Devereaux, who is the dean of political reporters, about scholars and presidential historians, dispute that how the White House runs is important. An era in which the White House has become a complex and central place for the making and execution of policy. That would be the making and execution of policy that does affect your daily life. The White House operation has been seen as vital to presidential success. This sentiment was echoed in the Wall Street Journal last week, where another presidential scholar said, you can see evidence every day in this White House of the problems of poor staffing leads to. Of course, it's almost always at least partly the president's fault. He's the one who, after all, hires these people. We don't want to let the president off the hook here. This story in the Washington Post concludes with these questions. With each controversy, the question is who's in charge. The answer is on what subject. White House officials stress that what seems like an unending stream of troubles has not paralyzed the administration, just certain people at certain times friends. This is a defense. I ask you, what is an administration but the people? However, I don't want to scare you. It's springtime. We're all happy. It's opening day at baseball, so we conclude this story with this paragraph. The prevailing attitude at the White House is that this period will pass, but that something else will be lurking around the next corner. Quote, you know the business cycle, one official said? Well, we call it the Clinton cycle. Bad springs, recovery in the fall. So there you have it. Aren't we relieved? This is a big relief. You don't have to care because they're going to recover in the fall. Remember what they did when they recovered last fall? They introduced government takeover of 1/7 of the economy. Think about your White House. Think about how you don't really need to care about how it affects your life. This is the place where the buck stops. Sounds to me more like pass the potato. Maybe when Tony Snow comes in later on, we will talk to him. He worked in the White House during a campaign year and non-campaign year. We'll see how it affects policy, and we have some congressmen on later this week. We'll see if it has any impact on legislation. But don't you think when you hear these stories that the press is picking on Clinton or Republicans are picking on the White House or we're making much ado about nothing. How the White House functions is critical to you because that is the body where power is vested in the city to create policies that affect your daily life. And in this administration, there will be more policies being created every day having more effect on your daily life. Think about that. When we come back, we'll go back to the phones before Tony joins us in the next hour. We have yet to have any RLRA alerts. Keep your antenna up, though. Stay tuned for this short break, and we'll come back on the phones.
You're listening to the EIB Network.